And look, Chair, as I've said before, the concern for CASA is because of the sheer numbers, they don't have the capacity to regulate and control this. And so there's a certain inclination to say, well, it's beyond my ability to control, therefore I won't venture out to propose a solution. It is a whole of government solution. And so, Ms. Spence, you've identified that, perhaps you would need to do some work. Perhaps you can come back to us with a straw man of how you think that process could work. If we were to say, okay, manufacturers, DJI being the most public one recently, this is the standard we need in terms of software control systems integrity. Going back to what Senator Still said, even before the thing can fly, just like when you put your registration number into a piece of software you bought for your computer, it goes back to the manufacturer who then knows who it is who's activating that device. If you can come back to us with just a straw man of how that could work, who you think might need to be involved in this whole of government approach, that would be really useful.
If that's all right, I'll take that on notice. I would note that one of the things that we're quite committed to is understanding the recommendations that are coming from the committee and then work out what a sensible advice to government and how to respond to those. I'm not sure how much, it's quite new territory for us in terms of even coming up with a straw man about how something like that would work. I'm not trying to be difficult, but if you can leave that with us to see what we could come up with, but I just wouldn't, it is quite new territory for us to be playing in.
We will be completely independent in terms of how we want to recommend, but it would be useful if, given your experience of working across various government departments and integrating effort, if you could come back and go, well, something like this may minimise, interdepartmental issues, barriers, etc. Here are the range of people that may need to be involved. That would help us inform our decisions.
Can certainly come back to you with advice on who the core agencies would be that would need to be involved in any kind of advice to government.
And so, I might add, Senator, the core industry players as well, which you've touched on. There are certain manufacturers who clearly see the importance of geofencing being part of their future products.
Well, it's partly geofencing, but it's also partly the integrity of the control loop.
Correct.
And the ability to link that to the level of competence of the user. Whether it's the teenager who's got it as a Christmas present with no training versus somebody who's invested themselves in a certain amount of training through to a commercial user. The technology is there to allow us to graduate the capability of the device to the capability of the user, which is where we'd like to end up. Because Senator Still's point about the helicopter is correct, and in that case, the only reason the helicopter didn't suffer serious damage was that the drone actually hit the fuselage first, then broke up, and the contact with the rotor blades was only with little bits of the drone, which puts the kibosh on a couple of theories that have been put to the committee. One is that helicopters are safe because the downwash would push the drone out of the way. Well, Black Hawk has a hell of a downwash. I flew them for many years, and if it flew under the rotor disc and hit the fuselage, then clearly that is a risk. It could have hit the rotor blades first, and either the tip of a main rotor or the tail rotor could potentially have been catastrophic. So it is a significant risk given the role of our EMS helicopters here in Australia and the heights that they fly at compared to where people fly these drones.
Senator, we'd be happy to come back to you with some, key agencies and how sort of coordination could be made to work.
That'd be great. Thank you. Thanks,
Senator Fawcett. While we're at it, before we go to Senator O'Sullivan, if we can set a date of Tuesday the 7th of November to give you 3 weeks to give you the opportunity to come back to us with answers to questions taken on notice. Thank you.